up, boys and girls, welcome to my channel. I'm for Classic, and for today what I do have in here is Bleeding Edge. So Bleeding Edge, it is a game developed by Ninja Fury, the same developers behind Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. So these guys are kind of masters of single player game, but today, not today, some days ago, they have released a Bleeding Edge, which is a multiplayer game. So I've decided to take the test on my HD 7850, which is pretty much the same as the R7 370 or the R7 265, but the 2GB version. So one of the complaints that I have to start on, it is this game, it is pretty much a competitive game, but yet it is locked to 60 frames per second. So despite I'm running with the lowest settings possible and VSync disabled, it is a little bit weird because the game behaves like I have, like if I had the VSync enabled. So my guesses are that the settings are not entirely working for VSync, and disabling or enabling VSync, it is not going to make a difference. So the requirements this game asks for an FX CPU, 8 gigs of RAM, and an HD 7950 as a minimum. So which means that we are below the minimum requirements. Although I decided to take a test on the game, since the maximum settings, high settings, medium settings and low settings, and despite on this video you will be seeing the low settings. On the low settings, what I got, it was an experience always locked to 60 frames per second. Although on this recording you can notice some drops, I believe this is related with the software recorder, the AMD Ryzen Relive, which might be pushing a little bit too much, and these might be causing the issues. But if, for example, if you go with medium settings, you still get most of the time 60 frames per second with some drops here and there to 54 frames per second when there is a lot of action. And the high settings are the maximum performance pretty much the same, with an experience between 40 to 60 frames per second. And while Ninja Fury don't fix these VSync issues, I can't recommend you to go with maximum settings, because VSync enabled with 40 frames per second just looks horrible, since this game seems to be using some sort of weird VSync going on, and you can clearly see that the game, it is not smooth at all. You know, 40 frames per second might not be that smooth for most of the people, but with VSync enabled in this game, it just looks really bad. And you can actually notice when this drops from 60 frames per second on this video to something like 55, you can clearly notice the issues. Although, but like I told you, these guys are working on a fix, and probably if you are watching this video like 1 week later or 1 month later, they probably already had released a patch to fix the issues. Alright, so performance wise, despite we are below the minimum requirements, I would say that the HD 7850, it can play this game with no issues whatsoever. Alright, that's what you should know about that. So about this game, I have a little bit of mixed feelings. First of all, I'm not really the MOBA gamer, so all my opinions are subjectable, alright? So you might not really enjoy what I'm going to say, or everything that I'm going to say might not be entirely true for most of the people, alright? First of all, what I feel is that this game was created with consoles in mind instead of PC. And I'm saying this because, first of all, this game have ranged heroes, and I have no issues with that. In all MOBAs available, you have ranged heroes which you can select to attack enemies from the distance. No issues whatsoever. Although on the PC, instead of you aim and shoot, what you're going to do, it is to press a key to select the enemy and press another key to start shooting. So you don't need to aim and shoot at all. Everything, it is automated to you, so that it is entirely easy. So I believe this is created towards more of the console players than the PC players. This is the first thing. Second thing, and this is quite unique for this game, is the fact that most of the characters are created with melee combat in mind. I actually enjoy that, alright, no issues whatsoever with that. But you can clearly see that this game was created with consoles in mind, because it makes sense for you to use the gamepad for this game. Also, when you get inside the game gets you a banner with a recommendation for you to use the gamepad, because it will make more sense to you to use the gamepad. Since this is a melee combat game, you don't really need to aim and shoot anyone. So another thing that makes this game a creation more to the console players than the PC. And honestly, you might be thinking, so this guy have anything against console gamers or players or games? No, I have nothing against that. I'm just saying this because on the PC, we have a ton of MOBAs which you can play, you know, a lot of MOBAs, a lot of free-to-play games out there. I'm kind of thinking that this might be hard buy for most of the people, since this game costs $29.99. So I don't think this is an expensive price, especially for console players that don't have as much MOBAs. Like you don't get Dota 2 or League of Legends, so console gamers are a little bit more limited, so it makes sense for them to pay for this because this is something unique. Even on the PC this is quite unique in my opinion, but like I did tell you, we have a lot of other mobile games which you can play. And yet paying $29.99 to me doesn't make too much sense. But anyway, Overwatch was also released with $59.99 and it was something really great for most of the people, especially Blizzard fans. And it cost $59.99 and people actually did brought the game, and there was nothing like that at the time. But Bleeding Edge feels a little bit like some sort of mixture of, you know, Overwatch and also Overwatch mixed up with melee combat mostly. So this for me, it was great because they were creating a different kind of Overwatch, more focused into the melee combat. But again, they just released ranged combats, which makes me a little bit more confused about what these guys were trying to do in the first place. If they were trying to be an Overwatch with melee combat, or if they were trying to create Overwatch in third person. So I'm a little bit confused about what this game tries to achieve in here. And honestly, for $29.99 on the PC, this is not the best deal in the world, so I'm a little bit afraid that this game might not have the success that Ninja Fury wants, but at least for the console gamers, I do think that this might be a good deal. Although Ninja Theory, it isn't really dumb all the times, and honestly I really enjoy the Always Senua Sacrifice, so it would be very dumb to call them dumb. But the good decision about them is that they added this game on the Xbox Game Pass, and this is a very good deal, because if you pay like €3.99 or €4 per month, alright, you get the Xbox Game Pass, which it will get you access to a lot of Microsoft exclusive games like Forza Horizon, Halo, I don't know, all the Sea of Thieves, for example, it's a good example. You get access to all these games, not to mention outside games like Metro Exodus, which is an insane game. So you get access to all these games by just paying €4 per month, and you can cancel anytime, alright? This is a huge deal, and so this game was added to the Xbox Game Pass at its release date. So if you are a subscriber of Xbox Game Pass, you can play this game, let's just say, for free. You don't need to pay anything aside from the Xbox Game Pass. So this might be a good deal in that regard for PC gamers, but outside from that, I'm a little bit skeptical how good or bad this game will be received. Like I did told you, with the amount of market that we have on PC gaming for mobile games. Leave your opinion on the comment section below. I have really mixed feelings about this. If you have any question about the performance, just leave also comments on the comment section. Thank you a lot for watching, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye.
Y'all can slap me with bread and call me a sandwich.
Objectives deactivated.
Come here, sugar.
Objectives activated.
Taste. Back here. Hooked the bill, kept your seat.
Not an option.
The enemy's taking point B. I am shamed by our loss of sea.
Objectives deactivated.
I'm gonna jerk a knot in your tail.
Objectives activated.
Ooh, she's lost!
My turbo is charged. They're stealing point B. Objective A is being stolen.